Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Amir. In this video, we're going to talk about how to flip cars under $500, or if you literally have no money to begin with, we're going to cover a low cost strategy that you can use to get your foot in the door with flipping cars. Because the truth is, in the beginning, even if I did have a lot of money, if I even did have 3, 4, 5 grand to blow, if you don't know much about the business and you're just starting out, I wouldn't advise spending anything more than $1,000 on your first deal. The reason why is because there's so many factors that can go wrong. There's so many variables that are not in your control. And when you're starting out, you want to keep your risk factor as low as possible. So that's why in this video, I want to cover the 3 ways that you can go about flipping your first car, or even flipping your first few cars under $500 or less, preferably even for free. Again, we're going to cover all of that stuff in this video. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into it. Fun fact, I am still an absolute sucker for cheap cars. I love buying and selling cheap cars is because they are low risk and high reward. People who buy cheap cars, they just want something that can get them from point A to point B. They're not looking for a Maserati. They're not looking for a Ferrari or a BMW. They simply just want a car that can reliably get them from their work to home, from their school to work, wherever they're going. They just want it to get there. If it has some mechanical damages, if it has some cosmetic work that needs to be done, or if it's just simply a car that's used and has some wear and tear, they're not going to give you a whole lot of fuss about it. Instead, they'll just accept it for what it is and what the car can do for them, rather than, hey, the leather seat has some rip on it, or the window is not going down, or this thing is going to need new shocks or anything like that. So that way you have an easier time in terms of like what you have to put into the car. The under $1,500 market for cars, they don't expect much. They simply just want a car that can get them from point A to point B. That's it. So with that being said, here are a few ways you can flip your first few cars, or your first cars under $500. The first way to do it is we're gonna jump in on the computer. I'm gonna show you. We're gonna be using Marketplace, OfferUp, and Craigslist. So let's go ahead and jump in on the computer and let me show you what we're talking about. We are here on Craigslist. So I'm just gonna go ahead and click cars and trucks right here, and all I'm doing is, for example, whatever car that I'm searching for, or in the beginning, I like to keep my options as broad as possible. So all I'm gonna do right here is under max price, I'm just gonna put $1,000. Oh, that's 10,000. Sorry, $1,000 right there. And then I'm just gonna click owner. Anyways, as you can see, there's this Honda Civic right here for $1,000, right? There's a Chevy Prism right here for $500. There's a Volkswagen Jetta for $800. There's this Subaru Outback for $800. Toyota Avalon, 2000 Toyota Avalon for $800. Chevy AVO for $900. So my point is, you can find cheap cars like this, and the best part about these kind of cars or these kind of prices is that these are not the final price. So for example, if someone has their car up for $800, I'm gonna go there, find out whatever is wrong with it, and I'm gonna offer him half of that, and that's how I'm gonna be able to get that deal. To give you a further more of an example, let's go on Facebook Marketplace right here. Under vehicles, same thing, max price $1,000, right? And if you have any specific cars that are popular in your area, like for example, if you have Honda Civic or Toyota Camry or Toyota Corolla, you can punch those in up over here and then set the max price to like whatever, 1,000, 1,500, whatever your maximum price is, keeping it under 1,500 preferably, and search them this way. As you can see right here, 2000 Nissan Altima GXE, 170,000 miles, $700. That's actually a pretty good deal. I've flipped one of these. It was actually a 2002. I got it for $750. I sold it the next day for $1,700. So something like this, you can easily get this for maybe like $500, $450 and turn it around for $1,500, making you a quick, $1,000 profit. Let me show you one more example on OfferUp right now. Cars and trucks, price $1,000. But right here, 2001 Honda Civic for $1,000. That's not bad at all. How many miles are on this thing? 176,000. Not bad. Like this car, you would just have to paint that front bumper, but these cars are extremely reliable and you can run these cars to the ground. You can easily offer this guy around like $600, pick it up and sell it for around like 15. So that's a good, $900 profit right here. My point is, you want to use these filters to your advantage so you can narrow down just the cars that you need and nothing more than that, right? And Craigslist, OfferUp, Facebook all have that great feature that you can use. And my pro tip for you is to never pay the full price, even if the deal is screamingly good. Always negotiate and try to even get the best deal possible. Now, let's say you have a bigger budget and you're more comfortable flipping cars in the $1,500 to $3,000 range, or you're just seeing better deals in that category of pricing than the ones cheaper than that. Now, a great way for you to get access to those kind of deals without taking a ton of risk is to simply split that car up with a friend or a partner. In fact, that's how I got started. The first car I ever flipped was a 2005, or it was a 2006, something like that. It was an old Nissan Maxima that I bought for $1,100, but I split it with my friend and I only put in $550 on my side. The car sold within 2 days for $2,200, and which basically allowed me to double my money just within a couple of days. And just by expanding your budget a little bit higher sometimes is going to open up a whole lot more options for you to choose from. For example, you're not always gonna find a deal under $1,000, under $500, right? Those sometimes might just be a needle in a haystack, especially if you live in a smaller area or where there's not a lot of deals around you. But if you expand your budget, now you have more options. You have more potential flips that you're opening up doors to. Now, another bonus of having a partner or a friend who's in on the deal with you is that now it's not just you working hard to sell or find that car, it's two people trying to sell that car. So the likeliness of that car selling faster drastically increases, therefore increasing the likeliness of you making that profit a whole lot faster. Either way, if you're doing that, again, I would not advise spending anything more than $2,500 if you're even buying with a friend, because especially if you're starting out and you don't know a whole lot about what you're getting yourself into, this can put you back in the red or kind of even risk you losing money. So again, just try to stick to cheaper cars as much as you can. And if you want to know a little secret, cheap cars sell fast. People like to buy cheap stuff. People like to buy cheap cars. And even again, in my years of doing business, I still personally love selling cheaper cars because I'll get them in one day and then within like a couple days they'll be gone, versus selling a $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 car. People don't have that kind of cash just laying around. Therefore, these cars sit for a whole lot longer, and at the end of the day, the profit margin ends up being about the same. Just because you're selling more expensive cars does not mean your profit margins are higher. It's best, instead of spending $3,000 or $5,000, all of it on one car, is best that you spend it on 5 cars instead of tying up all of that cash and costing you a potential opportunity of buying, 3-4 more cars, which can be profiting you $500 to $1,000 each. The third way that you can sell cars for under $500, or practically in this case for free, this is absolutely no money required, and that is to sell somebody else's car for them. This is by far the easiest and the best way to make a great profit without risking any of your own money on the line or investing any money to begin with. Because the fact is, some people are just tired, they don't want to look at their car, they would rather just trade it into the dealer. But that's where you come in, because the dealer is going to offer them a wholesale price. So let's say their car is worth, $5,000-$6,000 on the private party value. The dealer is probably going to offer them like $2,000 or $2,500 for that same car. That's where you come in, and you can offer them a guaranteed $3,000 for their car, which is a whole lot more than what the dealer is offering them. And you end up selling it for $4,000, and you just keep that difference in between. This is a true story. My landlord actually was planning to trade in his old Infiniti at the dealer just because he was ready for an upgrade. He didn't want to deal with the headache of cleaning it up, dealing with the hassle of posting it online, replying back to people, all that stuff that comes with selling a used car. He was too busy for it. He did not have the time for it. So he was like, hey, I'm just going to trade this in and get myself a nice Tesla. He wasn't aware of the car's true worth, and he said he would be happy even if he got $2,500 for that car. I said, yeah, I can definitely help him get that much, which is still a lot more than what the dealer was offering. The dealer was offering him maybe like $1,500 or something for that car. I think something even less than that. So I said, yeah, I can get him $2,500, so he handed me the keys and the title to the car. I cleaned it up, took some nice pictures of the car. I posted it up on Marketplace, OfferUp, and Craigslist for $6,000. A few days later, this gentleman came, he checked out the car, and on the spot he offered me $5,500 for that car. I gave my landlord the $2,500 that he was looking to get from that car. I made my $3,000 without having to invest a single penny into that car other than just cleaning it up, posting it, and writing a decent description for it. That was about it. My landlord was happy, the buyer was happy, I was happy. It was a win-win situation for everybody. Moral of the story is you don't need to have a whole lot of money to get started with flipping cars. There's so many creative ways that you can go about approaching this business while keeping your risk factor low and the likeliness of you making a profit pretty high. So if you follow some of these things, you can easily get started with little to no money. $500 or less is what you really need. If you want to have more options and you have that kind of a budget, by all means you can go ahead and invest $1,500, $2,000, $3,000 into it. But my biggest advice is that since you are starting out, there's a very high likeliness is that you're not going to be perfect and you're going to make some pretty obvious mistakes that people do in the beginning. But other than that, that's the gist of it. These are the 3 ways that you can go about flipping cars without having a super high budget or even having a budget to begin with. So if you guys are interested in this kind of content or are interested in flipping cars and making over $5,000 per month, there's a link in the description that has my free training that will show you my 5-step flip system to earning over $5,000 plus per month flipping used cars. Other than that, if you like videos like this, make sure to go ahead and smash that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, and let me know what you guys thought about it in the comment section below. Other than that, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.